Thank you for attending this talk. Actually, seeing the yesterday's presentations like high availability and REST API things, sometimes I doubt myself whether I am in my presentations in the right conference, because this is not about PGSQL. It is not a dive into Postgres or anything else. It's a generic problem that we have faced when we developed our e-governance application. Anyway, I trust the decision of organizers. They may select this presentation because they think this presentation might create a serious discussion or at least sharing of ideas, because I know, people from NAC and other institutions are there. So it's a normal problem. It's an ordinary problem we face when we start developing e-governance application. I'm Shaji Albert. As he said, I'm working as a nodal officer of Stationery Department. By designation, I'm a senior clerk, not a programmer or anything. But in Kerala, there is a lot of IT initiatives, and government forming small IT cells in each department with people who are interested in programming. So I'm one of that guy selected as a member of IT cell of our department. And we have, a few words about Kerala. I'm from Kerala. You may know that it's blessed with its scenic beauty, and it's known as God's own country. And Kerala is known for its FOSS initiative, free open source initiative. From 2008 onwards, it is conducting international FOSS conferences. And it also formed a government institution called IC FOSS to coordinate the FOSS initiatives of state. I'm also obliged to that agency, because through that agency I got introduced to this Postgres community. A few months back I attended a 5-day training conducted by Nigel Sontaki, and thus I heard about this Postgres community and this Postgres conference. So this is about my department. My department is, as you can guess from the name, we purchase the whole office consumables and computer consumables for every office. In Kerala, about 7,500 to 8,000 individual offices. We purchase centrally for all offices and distribute through our district offices. So we have a wide area network, presence in every district of Kerala. And we boast about our history, from the period of King Swathi Tirunal. And we used to say the department first started for purchasing papers for the palace. Okay, so that's a lot of history. And it's about, it's an extract from the IT policy of Kerala state government. You can see it giving how much importance to the open source initiatives. It states that every project that developed using public fund should be in free open source. So I think it's a unique initiative from the Kerala government. And another thing is, there is a lot of things. As I said, there is a lot of development is going on, and also there is a lot of migration is going on. Last 10 years, we are using a payroll application, Spark, for the entire Kerala, not for a single department, for the entire Kerala employees, Spark. And that is developed in .NET and SQL Server. And last year, we converted that application to Postgres. And that's a laborious task. And from 2008, we have an application called eMist. This is 2.0. I'm talking about the eMist 1.0, the first eMist. And we are using it from 2008. And it is developed by Keltron, another Kerala state agency which develops software. And from 2008, we are using Postgres as our backend for eMist. And after this WannaCry and a lot of things, our application security audit is performed, and we found some vulnerabilities in our existing application, and we decided to revamp the application. Also, in our department, some process re-engineering is going on because we are purchasing things and we are supplying things. This is supply chain management, but no one in the department knows about supply chain management, or never we discussed about this supply chain management and logistics techniques. And now we are performing some GPR. We had a workshop on November, and we are going to have a workshop on March 5 and 6 to discuss about the GPRs and submit some proposals, re-engineering our process. So those things are going on. Okay. So I'm here to discuss about two issues, two database design issues I have faced when we have faced when designing our application and redesigning our application, and the solutions for that here. I'm speaking from the perspective, from the point of view of an application developer, not from the DB designer or DB administrator. For me, for developing application, we can see that there is two kind of data tables. We can classify those tables into two sets. One is master data tables, and the another is transaction data tables. And master data tables are for holding master records. In our case, to hold the information of all the officers, to information of the items, etc., etc. And this is very generic, I think. This classification is. In master tables, for example, in our case, once a government office is, I said there is around 7,500 to 8,000 officers. Once those are in the database, new additions are very often, and not often, because a new office is creating, it's a rare case. So, but there will be edit operations, there will be update operations. For example, the contact number might be changed, the email might be changed, or the office may be shifted to another location. So there will be frequent changes in those tables. So we want to track those changes, who done those change, who did that change, and what change happened. It's not about, it's a usual practice. We store the user ID and the last updated timestamp in tables, but this is not enough for us. We want to know the complete history of a record from once it is inserted to the last, maybe it could be deleted. So, but anyway, beyond the complete history of a single record. That is a challenge in our side. Previously, we had we were using some other methods. When you may be aware of WordPress, and WordPress has a versioning system. In that versioning system, WordPress is not deleting any record, or it is not replacing any record, but it keeps versions. So previously we implemented a system with versioning. A new column will be there, it's called version, and whenever a column is changed, we will update the version number, and 0 will be the actual record, and 1 the first edit, 2 the second edit, those kind of things. We have implemented that, but we found that it causing the inflation of table. A lot of records are in the table and those things. So this time in EMIS 2.0 we have tried with some another solution. Actually, it is not new. Recently I found that, after preparing the presentation, I found that there is a wiki page for Postgres called Audit Trigger, how to audit changes in tables using trigger functions. It's not similar, what I'm going to say is not similar to that thing, because even in that scenario also, there is some difficulties we are facing, because you will know those things later. And there is another tool, PG Audit, that developed by Enterprise DB, but that is also not sufficient for us from application development point of view, because we want to, it's not for an auditing later on. We want to show the changes, what are the changes happen in the application interface. So we want some mechanism from where the application can read data and show it in the front end. So as you can imagine, it's a trigger-based solution. And first, what we have done is we have created, those duplicate tables of the master tables. We have created a separate schema for that called history, and then we created duplication of every tables. Only one difference, at the end there will be a column called operation flag, and it is an enum of IUD. As you can imagine, I is to indicate insert, U to indicate update, and delete to indicate delete operation. And then we implemented a few triggers. It is only after insert. Once the record is inserted, this trigger will be executed, and copy of those loaders will be copied to the backup table with flag I, and on update the data will be copied with flag U, and on delete deleted data will be copied with flag D. So it's an illustration. You can see from here to anti-clockwise, you can see the events and what will be the entry in history table here. So with this trigger, this will be the output, but this is not right, because you can see the record is deleted by RAM, but the trigger, when we use this trigger method, it is recorded that the record is deleted by Chris. So it is not right. So this trigger method is completely not satisfying. It is not completely satisfying our requirement. So we have updated, a tweak. We applied a tweak. The application will, we are using Laravel, and it has a database layer. And on database layer, we had made some tweaks, and before every delete signal, it will update the record itself with the new username, and then the delete will be performed. So for every delete request, there will be an update, and then the delete request. So as you can see, now we have the record is right, but one record is new, one additional record is there. So you can see the blue area, one additional record is there, because there was no update operation, but we are keeping that update operation. With some application level fine tuning, we were able to achieve the exact result. What we have done is we have avoided the delete trigger, and some modification in application layer. We could able to get the desired result, and in application front end, we were able to represent it, the changes in a timeline. These are the changes made, and there will be a change link, and using some diff operations, we can show them what are the actual change made with the previous record. This is what we done in our EMIST application to track and display changes. So every changes will be visible to the administrator of the application. He doesn't need to be a DB administrator or anything to see what are the changes made to review the things, but only using the application front end, he can see what are the changes made. This is the front end, what he achieved. And the next thing is about the transaction table. In transaction table, you can see that there is not going to be much edit. In fact, there should be no edit operations. For example, when we used to transfer stock from one location to another location. Previously, we were editing, we were sending 10 tons of paper to another location, and when they examine, there is some missing. So previously there was edit operations, but we found that this edit operation causing a lot of problems, because there is a chance that people will misuse this edit operation to loot things. So there should be no edit operations. If there is any correction is needed, they will do a adjustment entry because like 10 tons of paper sent to another location and they have received only 9. First they receive those 10 tons of paper, then they will enter a new record saying that 1 ton of paper sent back. So thus the account is corrected. So there will be no edit operations, but if correction is needed, there will be adjustment entry. So these are basically insert only records. So then our auditors came. I mean, in government sector there is a lot of auditors or auditors came. Someone know how things are works in computer and someone doesn't know. So they were asking, you have no paper record. No, we don't have any paper record. We are using this application. So how will you know this is correct? This can be edited, right? Ma'am, it can be edited, but it is not possible because it need database permission and other things. But it is editable. Okay. Then how will you know it is edited or not? Those kind of questions we are asking by our auditors. So what we thought is we need a solution to say that this record is not edited at all. This record is not edited. From there, we came into this kind of a proposal. So I will explain why edit is restricted. This is on scenario we usually face in government sector. In government sector, everything is every decisions are made by a workflow. In paper, the clerk will write, okay, we can buy something, and supervisor will recommend it, or he will say, no, it is not enough, and officer will approve. So everything in a workflow, everything are happening in a workflow. So in our application also there is workflow. In that workflow, if a record is edited, you can see this. Assume this is the original version. The subordinate recommends to purchase 5 new cars, and the officer agrees. Okay, let's buy 3 new cars. It's okay, fine. It's the decision is very justifiable and fine. But if the record is edited, instead of 5, 2 is updated, the complete story changes. It seems that the officer is not wise. The clerk recommended or the subordinate recommended to buy 2 new cars, and the officer, without any justification, he says, okay, let's purchase 3. So he is it is not right for his position. He is spendthrift or something else. So this is the picture we are getting if that record is edited. And this is another scenario. It is a delete operation. It's a malicious delete operation where the subordinate recommends for 5, and the superintendent says, no, we don't buy anything at all. And the officer saying 3 new cars. This is the this is the actual scenario. The officer is somewhat ambitious, but if the record is deleted, if the recommendation of the superintendent can be deleted, the story seems very fine, because subordinate recommended 5 and officer go for 3. It's okay, it's fine. So what I'm trying to say is this in workflow, this edit and workflow, everything, this transaction table, the edit and delete, particularly in e-governance perspective, make a huge difference, because the decisions, the story, everything is recorded in the table. So it makes a lot of differences. So yeah, there is solutions, because we can go for encryptions. We can encrypt the whole data, and then if the whole data is encrypted, the edit is not possible. But again, encryption is in the expense of resources, because we need to encrypt everything going to a database server and decrypt everything coming from a database server. So this is not advisable. And if the encryption is not file system, we are encrypting only the values, there is another